Mike Moore Media.
It's our monthly podcast with Neville Hall, the mayor of Eden. Hey, Mayor, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mike. I hope you have a great holiday season.
Well, all the best to you and your family, and to our city as well, and our city employees and all the people that work so hard year-round to make it happen. I guess we need to kind of recap this month's city council meeting, which was Tuesday, and that was oath of office night for incumbents and for a new member, and special recognition for an outgoing member.
Yeah, the December meeting following the election has historically been low with items of business to take care of because the swearing in of the new board members is the top, the highest priority during that meeting. So, we welcomed a new member, and a couple of them were reelected, so we're back in there. And then the new member replaced Bernie Moore, who is rotated off the council now, and he served 8 years and did a fantastic job, served on a lot of committees and stuff, and was a good councilman, and we'll wish him the best.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that was a good recognition the other night, too, and glad to have Jason Wood on the board from Ward 1, Jerry Ellis, named Mayor Pro Tem.
He was, yeah. He's second longest serving on the council now, behind Jerry Epps, and he Ellis recently retired from the school system about a year ago, so he's got more flexibility and was willing to take on the role as Mayor Pro Tem.
Very good. Okay. Well, wishing all the best to the city, as I said, in the coming year. And I know there are a couple of things that came out at that meeting, and Kelly Stoltz, Planning and Committee Development Director, gave an update on what's going on with the funds, COVID funds in Draper, and maybe you can kind of give us an update too for those that weren't at the meeting or haven't heard. And that's another way to say it, but COVID cash on that, right?
Yeah, it's still part of the ARPA money, but these grants require multiple public hearings, and they have to be spaced a certain length of time apart, and it's just a really slow process. But this particular meeting, we took care of we believe, the last required act by us to start receiving the funding. And now we just have to go back to them and say we've done what we needed to do, and hopefully the money will start coming and we can get to work on the fire station and some houses in the Draper area too.
Yeah, and I believe there are 10 houses involved, and then work at the fire station. A lot of work needs to be done at the fire station.
Yeah, it's obviously an older construction, and finally had some structural issues, and that's when we had to close the department for a while, and in the process discovered there are more issues than were obvious as far as the environmental issues. So it's going to be a big project and a lot more expensive. It's been bid out. We're just waiting for the money to be approved so we can get to work on that.
Yeah. I got all of that money, I think, in the Draper area. It's about $750,000 I have in my notes. I hope that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is right.
Yeah, and then Kelly mentioned another grant, and she didn't give a figure, but what's the deal on this one around the low and moderate income housing around the Eden Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, this is the first public hearing where she comes before council and asked for council to request that she apply for the grant. And I mean, obviously we're going to try to apply for any grant that's available. So this is for the section, like you said, around the Old Boys Club, the Five Forks area, and the total grant that we're requesting is $950,000. That's $855,000 to do residential repairs, and then $95,000 for administrative expenses. So that's $950 that we're applying for. So hopefully we get it, and in the meantime, they'll tell us whether or not to have another hearing and whatever else paperwork we need to do. I know the one in Draper, not on topic for that, but I went into City Hall one day and I had to sign 28 pages of paper.
Oh my goodness!
for one of these hoops you got to jump through.
Yeah, Well, the general public, including me, we don't have a clue unless you're in the office and see what's behind the scenes and all the paperwork and everything involved when you're looking at state and federal grants and things like that. It can be a long process.
Yeah, and Kelly does a great job. All the staff, the attorney, and the city manager, everybody keeps it moving in the right direction so that we can get the funding and spend federal money instead of tax money from our local citizens.
Yeah. There was some discussion on Summit Place subdivision and some improvements there, and I was looking at the map in the packet there. Some of those roads and drives and all of that coming together for some improvements there. And I was looking for my notes here on that. I can't seem to find it right in front of me, but that's the maps show really a lot of roadway in there.
Yeah, that's one of the incentives for developers would be, if you do a residential development and you pay to put the roads in up to our city standards, then the city will assume the responsibility of maintaining it. And that's what happened with this project. They completed all the roads to our engineering standards and just doing what you're supposed to do when you have a development.
Yeah. So that development will be maintained by city crews. Now, is that going to be annexed eventually, or is it already in the city?
Slowly, one piece at a time. It seems like for several months in a row, we had property owners coming in and being annexed. I don't know if you remember that from the meetings.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
They're slowly all coming into the city. So we can't. There's no such thing as forced annexation. They have to now request to be annexed. So
Okay.
they're no longer able to make them do anything. Not that we'd try, but they have to ask.
Okay. And during the public comment period, Linda Hampton spoke out in Grand Oaks. That's one of the older developments here in the Eden area, looking at some complaints. And I know City Manager John Mendenhall spoke up in the meeting and said that he would be speaking to her after the meeting along with Public Works. I was not in on that. Did anything come out of that we should mention?
Yeah, the complaints that she brought, legitimate complaints, but things such as potholes in the road, and we don't have the ability to monitor every road in the city all the time, so it requires somebody to call and say, obviously we see some, but usually it's because somebody complains about it, and that's when we do a work order and fix it. And it was just as simple as that. After the meeting, he got with her, and they may have already fixed them, but they got the work orders to get going. And there was some concerns about trash cans, abandoned trash cans, and John was going to get the collections and the garbage department to go over there and just get it straightened out. We just didn't know about that stuff.
Yeah.
Really, it was. I understand their concerns, and I appreciate her being there. And we would encourage anybody who has an issue to bring it up, and then we can fix it.
Yeah, that's what public comments period in the meeting is all about, for one thing.
That's it.
Yeah, okay. Someone else spoke, Pastor Miranda Easley. She's at Shaw Christian Church on the Boulevard, wondering about Christmas lights. And can you explain how that works with lights in other parts of the city?
Well, in the uptown area, the merchants, the Boulevard and Draper and Leaksville all have a merchant association, an MSD, that they voluntarily increase their tax bill to save a pot of money to do things that they want to do. It's their money, and the tax department just collects it and passes it back to them whenever they want it. And the old Leaksville merchants decided they would buy new lights, so they spent their money on some nice big wreath lights and stuff. And
they're pretty.
And then in the Draper area, so the residents and merchants bought those lights, and that's so technically the city hadn't bought anybody any lights. So the Boulevard is interested in, they'd like to have lights too, and I think that maybe they can get creative with their MSD funds and try to find it. But it's just not. There's not a lot of businesses there, so their fund is relatively small, especially to try to buy lights for all those. And I talked with John Mendenhall about it. The lights, the poles down on the boulevard are not electrified or something, so we'd have to replace the poles to be able to use electricity. So just be a major expense. But I'd love to see. I mean, one thing I think of maybe a possibility would be when Leachville or Draper or Graham or whoever replaces their lights, maybe get some used ones and they serve a purpose on the boulevard maybe.
Yeah, to get them started at least.
A less expensive option, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, those are some things that came out of the meeting. Anything else we should mention?
We filled some committee seats, which is nice to have people volunteering to do that and serving on different committees.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really. Like I say, December meetings are typically shorter than normal.
Yeah. Well, nice.
Because a lot of times we'll have a room full of family, and they don't want to. They're there for that swearing in, and then if you drag out an hour or two meeting, it gets to be not very fun for people who don't have an interest in being there for anything other than the swearing in.
Yeah. Well, always good to talk to you, get an update every month, and find out what's happening around the city. And good things are happening, that's for sure. And again, wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
And I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and your family. And I'm sure I'll see you around somewhere in town in next week or two. But I hope you have a great holiday.
Thank you, Mayor, and then see you for sure at the January meeting, not before.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot. All right, appreciate it. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Neville Hall. He is the mayor of Eden, our monthly podcast. And I wanted to remind you, if you need to find out a little bit more about what's happening around our city, you can go to the website edennc.us, explore edennc.com, and explore Eden NC on Facebook. Cindy Adams with special events and tourism and marketing always does a great job to keep that updated. So we'll find out about upcoming events that way. Shop local, support our Eden businesses. And that reminds me to say thank you to our sponsors of the Mayor's broadcast. Let's start with That Little Pork Shop on Monroe Street, Uptown Eden. New sidewalks, new street, looking good. Open tonight until 9/11, and then Donna will be closed for Christmas, reopen Wednesday the 27th. She'll be opening at 4/11 today, and then close at 9/11 tonight. Then we have Carter's Auto Repair and Exhaust on Kings Highway. Charles Carter and his team there providing complete auto service and NC inspection station. Then we have Ingrid's Cupcakes and Confections on Kings Highway. I'm enjoying our Christmas box of goodies from Ingrid's. Storefront is open through Saturday. And, of course, that's the place to go for all of your special baked goods, cupcakes and cakes and everything coming up in the new year. And then I want to mention also Uptown Pharmacy at the corner of Washington and Hamilton Streets in Eden. Corinne Brooks is there, a convenient drive-through in the back of the building. And a reminder, too, it's not too late to get your flu shot and beat the bug. You can get it right there at Uptown Pharmacy. Please support our Eden businesses. Again, Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year.